Well, everyone, it's that time of year again. The sun's out blazing, the pollen levels are at an all-time high, the days last longer. It means it's summer, and when summer comes, that's when all the fun happens throughout the entire year. So if you're like me, and you have a somewhat reliable car, and you have a lot of cash on you, and free time on your hand, you're probably thinking of going on an epic long road trip. Well, if you are, watch this video, stay tuned, because I'm going to go through a comprehensive list of things of what you need to do to make sure your road trip this year goes off without a hitch. I'm Nick from By the Byways. Check this out. Now, one of the first things I like doing before preparing for my road trip is to simply just do research. There's many websites out there in which they can give you brainstorming ideas when you go on your road trip. For example, I could use a website called Roadside America. It allows you to see where all the roadside attractions are in the United States of America. Everything from Six Flags, even all the way down to the world's largest ball of twine, you'll find it at Roadside America. Also, I could use TripAdvisor. You just plug in what your destination is, and by doing so with TripAdvisor, you can find all the greatest restaurants, all the attractions, deals on the hotels, and you can find other things to do, whether you're an outdoors person, whether you're like museums or scenic drives. It's all in TripAdvisor.com. And there's many third-party travel sites, booking sites that they have. I like to use Booking.com, but whatever one works for you will be just fine. Important things you can do on a road trip is you got to maintain proper tire pressure. Now, most cars say 35 psi. My car says 32, but actually, if you come over here, usually in the door jamb, it actually says in this general area right here, what tire pressure your tires need to be. So I'm gonna go check my tire pressure right now. So mine says about 35 psi, so it's in a good, safe range. So you want to make sure you'll do this to every single tire, so that way you don't have to worry about getting a flat when you're in the middle of nowhere. You always want to make sure all your fluids are all topped off, like you got the coolant here, windshield washer fluid, power steering fluid, brake fluid over here, but also, and then we got the transmission of dipstick fluid right here, but also I'm going to show you about the oil. So I just changed my oil, so we don't need to do that today, but it's always good on these road trips, especially if you're going on a long one like we are, to bring an extra quart. But let me show you how to check your oil, which is very simple. Just take the dipstick out of the engine here, and you always want to make sure it's on a cold engine as well. You don't want to burn yourself. So right now, you know what? Actually, our engine's oil's pretty clean right now, and the level's pretty good, so we're good to go. So when you check your dipstick, the one thing you want to check is in this area. You see as the oil levels go all the way up to here, but you want to make sure the level is in between these lines right here. That's the safe level. So if it's in this level, you're okay. But if it's high, or if it's high, you might want to drain some oil. But if it gets too low, you just want to add a little bit of oil, and then you'll be good to go. Other essentials that I want to have with me when I'm traveling. So actually, of course, it's essential that you have yourselves a roadside assistance kit. You have flares. You have all sorts of things in case if you get into an accident. Definitely a must-have. Now this here is actually a power inverter. You can actually hook this into the power outlet inside. Got an air compressor. This will really come in handy when you're filling up the tire pressure, so that way you don't have to go to a gas station. And just for the heck of it, here's a few extra cups. And then this is a no-brainer for all motorists. You definitely need to have your first aid kit. What the heck. And then I just have my baggie full of, basic tools for the car. I got some duct tape, a funnel, rag. This turkey baster will come in handy. You can siphon off fluids if you need to. Screwdriver, liquid silicone for preparing, some more fluids, gloves. Alright, and just a couple other tidbits. It's also a good idea that on these road trips, especially if you're going to be the only driver, or maybe if there's only you and another driver and you're driving a long distance, it's always a good idea to either be caffeinated, to either use coffee, tea, or any drinks, whatever you prefer. But if you're not into that whole sort of thing, I also recommend to get a good amount of rest. Now, this is completely optional. This is just something that I like doing, but you don't have to do this. Before going on a road trip, I like going to a car wash and just getting my car washed inside and out. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the point of getting your car washed when just an hour into your road trip, it's all going to be covered in grime? But as you can see here, there's already dirt everywhere. And it is just not aesthetically pleasing, so I just like to hose down my car and then just scrub it, dry it, all of that. And don't forget to vacuum the inside as well. Now, I know a road trip is not everyone's cup of tea because there's a fine line between road trip excitement to snoozeville. So you gotta find some way to entertain yourself between point A and point B. So one thing I like to do is I actually like to download a lot of music, which I have a lot of music that I can listen to during the drive. And not only that, I also like to use YouTube, or you can even use Audible. I mean, I don't recommend watching YouTube videos while driving. What I would recommend doing is maybe making a playlist of videos that you can listen to while driving. Just things to keep you kind of engaged and entertained, so that way you don't end up falling asleep on the road. Now, of course, a road trip wouldn't be a road trip without stocking up on supplies and snacks. Of course, like I said earlier, it's a must to have water, plenty of it. And also I have to go to my local auto parts store. It's always a good idea to have an extra quart of oil on hand, just in case you have to top off your oil. And also plenty of snacks. Those kettle chips are so delicious. Gotta get some protein in there as well. Gotta get those chips, ahoy. Not sure how those got in there. Yep, those are the bomb. Gotta get more chips. Plenty of coffee creamer. Now, of course, these tahini nibs, these bars, these are our new road trip staple. They're just so good, better than anything. And there you have it, folks. That's all the junk we're taking. And it's best to try to cram it all and condense it into one bag, as you see here, because paper bags and plastic bags just simply do not hold up. Okay, that should almost conclude the step-by-step process on to make sure you're completely ready for your upcoming summer road trip. But one more step, the suitcase. Now, there are countless techniques on the proper way on how to pack a suitcase, but there's many ways. You can cram everything in, or you can fold it. You can do anything like this. Even this right here, not very successful, not a very proper technique. And just like this, you can't even close the suitcase. I mean, because of this, you can't even fit everything you want to in a suitcase. So it's over and over, you have to do this until you get the proper technique. However, I think I found the proper method on how to cram the most crap in the suitcase. Follow me. It's actually a technique I only learned a couple of years ago. It's the folding technique. What you do here is you take all your t-shirts, you simply fold them in half like so, and then you roll them all up. Watch this. They're all together and they're all neat and folded. And then look at all the extra space you get in the suitcase. Now look at my pants. Do the same thing with those. Just fold them up, then roll them all up like so. And just like that, I still have a whole third of the suitcase free. And there you go. Now you know everything that you must do and have prepared, so that way when you go on your road trip this summer, you make sure it goes off auspiciously without a single issue. So if you find this video to be entertaining or informative or educational, then be sure to like this video, smash that notification bell, and be sure to subscribe. And also, while you're at it, leave a comment in the comment section, talk about maybe your road trip ideas or your past road trip experiences. And if you like this content, because after all, I do travel vlogs, I explore abandoned places, I even do little challenges, anything like that. If you're interested in this type of content, be sure to subscribe. And as always, remember, I'll see you by the byways.